From Indianapolis tonight, the Indiana Fever close out a 3-game homestand looking for their first win. They face off against the defending champion Seattle Storm, who got the better of Indiana on Tuesday night. It's Fever and Storm, round 2 on Valley Sports. And we welcome you inside Indiana Farmers Coliseum alongside Tully Bevilacqua, who's played for both the Fever and the Storm. I'm Pat Boylan. This is a rematch of Tuesday night's game. It's already the 5th back-to-back of the season. This is a byproduct of COVID scheduling, Tully. But what is this like preparing for as a player?
Well, to be honest, if I'm on the losing team, then I'm actually glad that you're playing back-to-back, because you want to have another crack at them straight away while everything's still fresh in your mind. You don't have to go and learn a whole new scouting report for a new team coming in. So for me, I actually like this format. But if you're on the winning side, you might want to go and just have a break in between games until you see your opponent again, so they can't make those changes.
Well, defending the perimeter has been a challenge for the Indiana Fever this season, and no team shoots it better from out there than the Seattle Storm, over 40% as a team. What adjustments might we see from Indiana from the perimeter?
Well, first of all, the Fever need to contest more shots. We saw a lot of wide-open three-point shots, particularly for the big three for Seattle, who showed up and showed out. So you need to contest the shots, and after that, you need to box out and then run the ball back down the other end.
All 3 of those three-pointers that Indiana hit on Tuesday night came from Kelsey Mitchell. They've gotten some consistency in their backcourt from the 2 Mitchells, Kelsey and Tiffany. It seems like, though, a new player in the front court steps up every night, and on Tuesday night, that was Jessica Breland.
Well, that's right. The posts have been shuffling the workload around a little bit, and so there needs to be some consistency now, but Jessica Breland is one of those players stepping up. She scored 10 points, 9 rebounds, and had 3 blocks. She's been effective on both ends of the floor, but she needs support. And so we need to see Tierra McCow and Lavender putting up some numbers. We need one of those players to be up around that 20-point figure on a consistent basis.
See, Jessica Breland has had some really balanced performances on the floor the last couple of games for the Indiana Fever. Indiana looking to snap an 8-game losing streak tonight. Seattle has yet to lose away from their building. We are closing in on the opening tip from Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Indiana Fever basketball is brought to you by Ascension St. Vincent, listening to you, caring for you. And by OrthoIndy, official orthopedic provider of the Indiana Fever. Downtown Indianapolis, the site for the Fever and the Seattle Storm. We've got the opening tip coming up from Indiana Farmers Coliseum on Valley Sports. Mitchell, she'll pull up. Here's a 3. She's got it. You got it back. That'll be your 8th rebound. She's got it. A foul. Mitchell getting inside. Mitchell lays it in. Knox goes back to work and lays it in off the glass. Vivian spots free, and Vivian knocks it down.
What an effort by Danielle Robinson. There you go, Big T.
Seattle Storm are the defending champions. They've got the top record in the WNBA this season at 11-2, and Indiana looking to pull off the upset tonight from Indiana Farmers Coliseum. The Fever looking to snap an 8-game losing streak as well and earn their first win inside this building. Their other win at home came earlier in the year at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. It is a Rebel Edition night. The Fever will be donning their Stranger Things themed uniforms for the 2nd time this year. They will wear those 6 different times this season. Here's a look at the starting lineups tonight, and for Indiana, they go with the same group that they did on Tuesday. Jantel Lavender scoring her 4,500th point in the WNBA. Jessica Breland in the front court with her. Danielle Robinson, Kelsey, and Tiffany Mitchell in the backcourt. And Seattle staying with the same group that they did on Tuesday night, which includes a former MVP, legendary Sue Bird, and Jewel Lloyd in the backcourt. There's Marianne Stanley in her 2nd season as the Indiana Fever head coach, a member of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. in Seattle. The head coach, Noel Quinn, who took over on May 30th as the new head coach in Seattle. There's longtime assistant Gary Kloppenberg to her left. Kloppenberg helped Seattle win a championship last year. He was the head coach in the Wubble. Dan Hughes was medically unavailable last season, and he stepped down early in this season. Rory Golbayan, Angelica Suffren, and Kevin Sparak, your officials tonight. Jantel Lavender and the former MVP Brianna Stewart tip things up. We are underway from the Coliseum. This is the final of a 5-game, 10-day road trip for Seattle. They are 4-0 on it. The defending champs have picked up right where they left off, and they go inside to Russell. Mercedes Russell gets Seattle on the board. This is the second-ranked offense in Seattle. They are third on the defensive end and in the top spot in the WNBA. Won 10 straight away from their building.
Certainly an impressive stat when you look at records on the road.
Lavender misses on her first look. Those 10 straight wins are just too shy of the all-time record, something the Sparks did back in 2000. Sue Bird, the legendary guard at the age of 40. Shooting the best that she has in her WNBA career in year number 18. Here's Robinson, pulls up. Indiana struggled on the offensive end in their loss on Tuesday night. The Fever scoring 70 points. Indiana ranks last in the WNBA in offense entering tonight. Good hands by Mitchell, and Tiffany comes up with a steal.
Tiffany Mitchell doing a great job on the defensive end, getting in the lane. And there she is, just missing that pull-up jump shot, but some good activity early on the defensive side for the Indiana Fever.
Lloyd backing in, has the size advantage on Robinson, leaves that shot short. Drew Lloyd at 19 points per game, certainly in the early MVP conversation around the WNBA. This team has 3 former #1 overall picks on their roster. Shot clock down to 5. Breland will fire and knock down a 3.
Well, she thought about it at first, and then after that pause, I expected her to rather take it off the dribble, but defense stayed off, so she just nailed that 3-point shot.
Breland's third 3 of the season. She doesn't shoot a lot from out there, as Bird has an answer with a 3 of her own.
Well, Sue Bird, what can you say? Just a legend on the floor, looking in the best shape she's ever been in. Some of her former teammates have acknowledged that as well.
This is a 2 from Breland off the mark. Bird had 17 points on Tuesday, and she did that on 7 shot attempts. It's nearly impossible to be more efficient than that as they look back inside for Russell. Good position. That shot won't fall for the 4th-year pro out of Tennessee. Mercedes Russell has stepped in after the loss of Natasha Howard to free agency, trade rather, in the offseason. Lavender can't handle it underneath, and the Fever turn it over here for the first time tonight as Seattle gets it inside to Brianna Stewart, and the MVP of the 2018 season, the runner-up a year ago, is on the board here tonight.
Sue Bird dropping the dimes already. She is second all times. We see Tiffany Mitchell taking it to the basket. One of the things that Tiffany Mitchell does best is off the dribble, attacking, getting herself to the free throw line. But as I said, Sue Bird, second in all-time assists. Actually, sorry, leader in assists in the league. She is second in 3-point shooting.
And is 4th in the WNBA this season at the age of 40 as Tiffany Mitchell hits the first free throw. She's an 87% free throw shooter. Quite a unique dynamic as we see Noel Quinn there. For her to be stepping in to such a powerful team, a lot of pressure, you imagine, on the shoulders of the 36-year-old head coach.
I've listened to her in interviews, and she's very composed. She's very quietly spoken, but Sue Bird said, don't let that tell you that she's not out there telling them what to do and really getting at them when she needs to.
Mercedes Russell off to a nice start. She's hit 2 of her 3 shots, has 4 points. You know, Robinson saying Indiana needs to have more of an attack-minded focus, and there is Robinson hitting the jump shots. Mitchell running the floor, left that shot short.
Well, that's what one of the strengths of the Seattle Storm is getting out and run. And so as we see Danielle Robinson unable to finish that basket.
Fever just 2 of 7 here from the floor early on. Bird and Stewart, that pick and roll, which is so lethal. Stewart had it blocked by Breland. Now it's Mitchell, Euro step inside, and gets the roll.
Well, just a great setup there. Defense into offense. But what you don't want to do is allow the Seattle Storm to have a fast break after a made basket.
Marianne Stanley said transition defense was the key to the entire season. Stewart gets back off a made bucket and puts Seattle up by 2. Next Thursday, the Fever are back in action at Indiana Farmers Coliseum when they host the Dallas Wings. See the Fever in action. Tickets are available now at feverbasketball.com/tickets. Indiana's opened up 3 of 8 from the floor here offensively as Mitchell's been attack-minded so far. Hangs and scores, and a nice start for Tiffany Mitchell, who's got 6 of Indiana's 11.
Well, Tiffany Mitchell, she's just, you can tell, like, with every game so far, she's just been improving with each one as we see great hands, and that's the activity on defense, just creating those steals.
That was Kelsey as Breland looks underneath. Good hands by Tiffany to pull it down. Just couldn't finish. Kelsey Mitchell, the only Fever player who's not taken a shot here so far tonight. She had a season-high 26 on Tuesday. Samuelson has the size advantage on Robinson, and Samuelson connects.
That was just smart play by Samuelson then, just backing D-Rob into the paint. No one came to help. But what we've seen so far, a much improved defensive effort in the first quarter here by the Fever.
Breland stepped back on Dupree. It was defended well. Lavender, the offensive rebound, blocked by Stewart. Stewart so dangerous in the open floor. Inside to Dupree, and Breland returns the favor for Indiana.
Jessica Breland, she is getting it done, and she is accumulating those blocked shots these past few games.
They go back inside, and Lavender banks that one home. Jessica Breland already with 6 rebounds, a couple of blocks, an assist. She's been really filling up the stat sheets as Stewart finds some space. And a loose ball foul on the floor going against Indiana. The former Fever forward, Candace Dupree, has checked in. That was one of the 2 blocks from Breland. That one on Dupree. Dupree in year 16, also just such an impressive display of playing well into your late 30s. We see Bird doing this at age 40, but Dupree 16 seasons in as they feed it inside. Lloyd through a double team. Pretty finish.
That's just great ball movement there, some quick passing, and Seattle Storm do a great job of reading each other and reading the defense.
Tiffany Mitchell shuffled her feet, and Indiana turns it over here for the 2nd time this evening. As Magbagor has checked in for Seattle. Brianna Stewart take a rest. Seattle has been on the road for 10 days. See the type of legs, how many minutes Noelle Quinn wants to go with the starters. Stephanie Talbot has just checked in as well, and she turns it right back over.
Just going back to Candace Dupree and talking about players playing, you know, into their 30s and 40s now. And it's all about just taking good care of your body and obviously making sure that after every game you get the necessary recovery that you need to bounce back. As we see Kelsey Mitchell unable to connect on the 3. Talbot now pushing the ball for Seattle Storm.
Mitchell's had that 3 ball falling here lately. Magbagor puts on the moves. Tiara McCowan made that a difficult shot. Offensive rebound to Magbagor. It's Canada looking to slip it in for Ezzy, and that hit off of Seattle last, and the Fever will take over. You like the defensive energy you've seen from Indiana so far?
Most definitely. They've come out and they are on point right now with their help defense, their activity with their hands, applying that ball pressure, so it's harder now for the guards to make the passes. And so you're seeing some of their entry passes into their post players not being exactly where the post needed to be to continue on with that shot.
Lindsay Allen has checked in for Indiana as well. Tierra McCowan, Victoria Vivians also on the floor for Indiana off the bench. This is McCowan's 4th straight game coming off the bench after starting for a majority of the season. So playing starters minutes. We'll see when they get one-on-one matchups with her in the post. Indiana will look her direction nearly every possession. Kaiser Gondrzic has come into the game as well. She's the rookie. Wears number 4. And she was the 4th overall pick in the 2021 draft. Dangerous pass there from Gondrzic. Stay with Indiana.
And with this Indiana Fever unit on right now, you really do want to take advantage of Tierra McCowan down in that low post with Ezzy Magbagor defending her.
Vivians will launch a 3. That won't fall. She's been struggling with her shots. Vivians at 26% from the 3-point line as Dupree had it knocked away from behind. Tapped out of bounds by Lindsay Allen. Talked about it in the open. Indiana looking for more consistency themselves around the perimeter, and you sense that Victoria Vivians is the type of player that could make that happen.
She has that ability to, and she's got that ability to really stretch from like beyond the 3-point line as well to make the defense have to really commit, which then opens up the floor as we see just that mid-range jump shot there is. That's what makes Seattle so difficult to defend. They've got the 3-point shot, they've got the mid-range jump shot players, and they've got the posts.
Allen flips it up, that well off target. Magbagor pulls down the rebound. Jewel Lloyd in her 7th season out of Notre Dame, a decorated career with the Fighting Irish. She is enjoying what so far has been her best year as a pro. 13 points, 4 assists are both career highs.
Well, I would say Jewel Lloyd is one of the best mid-range jump shooters, and her consistency, and a player that you want the ball in her hands, you know, in crunch time as well.
Gondrzic got a hand on it, couldn't come up with the steal. Magbagor powering in, big shot won't fall. McCowan pulls down the rebound. McCowan, the league's 4th leading rebounder, as they get her in good position inside, and McCowan lays it in, and that's the key for her. Where can she receive those entry passes?
And that was great patience by Kelsey Mitchell as well to wait for Tierra to establish herself down in that low block. But Ezzy Magbagor just coming right back at the Indiana Fever. She's not afraid to let it fly from the outside.
Magbagor showing off a little range there. So 3rd 3 of the season, and now Lloyd comes up with a steal. Lloyd 3-on-2, takes it herself, and on a second effort, Lloyd draws the foul.
Vivians did a great job on the initial Lloyd drive, not to foul, make it a contested shot and make it hard for that finish. But then you've got to reward yourself then with that rebound.
How nice must it be for Noelle Quinn to be able to say, we're going to sit the former MVP Stewarts, we're going to sit the legendary Sue Bird, and we can still have Jewel Lloyd out there running things.
Well, I mean, you have Candace Dupree out there with her as well, a former champion, WNBA champion, all-star. So she's got some good help out there, and that, well, Kelsey Mitchell, how did she find a way? It was like a broken play, but she just found a way to keep probing into the paint, and that left hand, nice little kiss off the glass.
Such a natural ability to score for Indiana. She'll tell you she wants to do it more consistently. Had a terrific year in the Wubble last season, and Bradenton was 6th in the league in scoring. And here's Canada charging right at her. Mitchell called for the blocking foul. That is her first. And with Seattle into the penalty. Jordan Canada will head to the line. She's an 84% free throw shooter. Canada's had a bit of a tough start to her 4th season. Seen her minutes decline just a little bit. 9 straight games in single digits. She played her college ball at UCLA, and at one point that UCLA team had Canada, Kennedy Burke, former Fever player, currently on the Seattle roster, Monique Billings, and Michelle Onyenwere.
It's a good group there. Yeah.
Mitchell pull up 3 and misses everything. Indiana 1 of 4 from out there, and this is something we'll be watching tonight. The Fever have been outscored from the 3-point line in every game this season. Lloyd gave it a heave, and it will not fall. And Seattle takes a 5-point lead into the 2nd quarter. Indiana Farmers Coliseum, the host of the Fever for the rest of the year. Watching Indiana Fever basketball on Valley Sports. TNT WNBA All-Star is back. Head over to WNBA.com/vote or download the new WNBA app to vote daily until June 27th. The All-Star game, kind of a unique format this year, as Gondrzik gets inside and the left-handed bank shot will fall for the rookie. You got Team USA. They will take on some of the All-Stars that are outside of Team USA. This, of course, is an Olympic year, and they don't always have an All-Star game in an Olympic year.
Now the block then for Jessica Breland. Dupree trying to take it out of it. Breland just really solid defensively.
She was 7th in the league in blocks before tonight. She is heading up those ranks already with 3 blocks here early into the 2nd quarter. 6 rebounds as well as an assist and 3 points. Breland has been a really nice find for Tamika Catching. She came in free agency from Atlanta, and McCowan defended that shot well.
McCowan doing a great job making Prince have to change her shot, and that's what the Fever just have to do, as we see great ball movement.
And a 3-second violation is the call on McCowan before Mitchell could get that 3 up. This is what Danielle Robinson was talking about at shoot-around today. The passes have to be crisp, they have to be quick, and you have to have an attack-based mindset against Seattle. That was a 3-second violation, but the ball movement was how you'd like it to be.
The ball movement was great, but what I'm going to say is I want Tiara McCowan taking that shot, though.
Tiffany Prince, the game's veterans, has checked in as well. Prince in year 12 out of Rutgers. Prince on the drive, gets inside and flips it in with the shot clock winding down. 5 points on Tuesday nights. 2-time All-Star earlier in her career with Chicago. Breland underneath to McCowan, who found some space and laid it in. McCowan with 4 points in 5 minutes here so far.
And that was a great assist. Post to post.
Backdoor and another block for Jessica Breland. She's picked up 4 blocks in 8 minutes. She continues to protect the rim for Indiana down low.
Well, at some stage, the Seattle Storm might work it out. They might have to add a pump fake into Breland, as we see a great find there. Magbagor just losing Tiara McCowan defensively.
Indiana right now actually out shooting Seattle, which is a welcome sign. The Fever entered last in the WNBA in offense, and Seattle is 2nd. This is a high-powered Seattle group at the very end of a road trip. Indiana trying to use some fresh legs to their advantage. Gondrzik back inside. McCowan muscles in.
That's what we're after. That's exactly the play. Get some movement, get the wings swinging, make the defense have to shift, and then you just punch it in into Tiara McCowan.
Offensive foul as Gondrzik played that perfectly off the ball with Prince. Watch Gondrzik and as many rookies. It's clear the game at times still moving pretty quickly. I've been impressed with just her intuition and her instincts, what we've seen from her lately.
Definitely, like, good signs with each stint she gets out there on the floor. And she's applying good defensive pressure, and, you know, it's very disruptive, and that's when you have offensive fouls by Seattle just getting frustrated with that.
Prince this time comes up with a steal. Stewart backing in, defended by Breland. She didn't get a piece there, but certainly contested the shot. It's been a masterful defensive performance here in the first half from Jessica Breland, as Allen goes right back into McCowan.
Just perfect play. You got great defense once again. Breland just contesting every shot, either getting a tip to it or just making it difficult, and great transition play.
Indiana did not lead on Tuesday night. They've got a second quarter advantage here against the defending champs. Stewart, an open three. That won't fall. Stewart has missed a couple from out there. One of the league's better shooters from the perimeter. There really isn't anything she can't do as the Fever continue to feed McCowan. And it keeps paying off.
They brought the double, but she just turned and shot it right over Stewart.
Now Talbot loses the handle, and Mitchell comes away with it. This is one of the best stretches we've seen all season from Indiana. Jessica Breland, in a lot of ways, has been the quarterback of that. Jandrazik, shot clock down to 6, contested jumper. Prince steps into a 3. That one rattles out. Seattle 2 of 6 from out there so far. The Fever will take that, and Russell with a push shot.
And this is where Indiana Fever have to be careful. In transition defense, you have to communicate. You may not end up on the player that you're designated to defend, but you got to get back and find a body.
Allen also a Notre Dame product. Breland and Stewart have been the focal point so far, and Breland connects.
Like you said, the previous game, we really didn't feel the Fever get on any kind of run or have any kind of rhythm, but we're seeing it happening here in this second quarter. This is a good run for them right now.
Stewart on the shot fake, gets inside, and Stewart couldn't finish. Well, she won't miss many from there. And Mitchell on the break into 3 defenders. Allen able to rescue it for Indiana. Shot clock resets to 14 in the WNBA, as it does in the NBA as well. The W has had that rule for quite some time. Lindsay Allen and Tierra McCowan, it's a connection the Fever hope to see more of as the season goes on. Join the Indiana Fever for the game on August 28th, and we celebrate breast cancer survivors. You can wear pink to the game, and to help save lives and increase awareness and knowledge of breast cancer, please text GIVE-SB to 53901. Always one of the special nights on the calendar. Indiana's had a special second quarter here so far. They've outscored Seattle by 8 in the second. Tierra McCowan doing a lot of the heavy lifting. She had an 8-0 run all by herself. McCowan has checked out as Lavender sets up Cox with the shot clock winding down. And the 3rd overall pick from 2020 gets that shot to go.
Well, good find by Lavender. She drew the double team, and good recognition by Lauren Cox. She knew that shot clock was winding down. She had to let it fly as soon as she caught it.
Russell working on Cox inside. Cox, a 2-time Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. She certainly excels on that end. Indiana's bigs doing a nice job of protecting the paint. Here's Cox, straightaway 3. When Lauren Cox gets totally healthy and becomes the player that Indiana knows that she can, as Stewart's on a pull-up, that's kind of her game. Just a little bit of everything. Maybe not an expert at anything, but terrific in so many different facets. Defensively, can extend her range out to the 3-point line.
Well, I was watching her during warm-up, and she was nailing the 3-point shots. And as you said, she can do a little bit of everything and can be a really good support player, you know, within the team.
Another promising sign here for the Fever. They've got a late second quarter lead, and they haven't needed Kelsey Mitchell to do the heavy lifting, which they are sometimes so reliant on Kelsey. Kelsey is a very good player, but Marianne Stanley wanting to see this group get a little bit more well-rounded. Mitchell has just 2 of Indiana's 31 so far. You know, she can pour it in if Indiana needs to, as Samuelson off balance hits the jump shots.
Back-to-back baskets now for the Seattle Storm. And that's the thing with this team. In an instant, they can reel that deficit back very quickly.
Seattle with their starting 5 on the floor. Indiana with just a couple of starters out there. Lavender, the deep 2. Lavender takes over half of her attempts from the mid-range and out to the three-point line. Lloyd cut off by Mitchell, and traveling is the call.
Once again, great defense. And we are seeing a much more energized defensive unit here by the Fever.
Fever shooting at 47% from the field. Indiana has shot 50% or better just once this year, and that was their win. Certainly trending in the right direction here so far this evening. As Kelsey Mitchell checks in for Tiffany, no relation. Mitchell pulls up and knocks it down, and there is Kelsey Mitchell showing off that pure scoring ability. Stewart gets good position, dips inside, and will go to the line. Craftiness of Breanna Stewart. Earned her an MVP a few years ago. She was the runner-up last year, and she'll shoot free throws when we return. Indiana Farmers Coliseum, our temporary home for the rest of 2021. A beautiful building to call home if you can't have Bankers Life Fieldhouse available. The Fieldhouse undergoes renovations. A great spot to bring your kids to a game. FeverBasketball.com. We see some Storm fans in the building as well. Seattle with 4 championships in their history. You know a little bit about that. This has
the first one, yes.
Has to be a little interesting for you to watch both of your teams on the floor, like watching a couple of kids play against each other.
I know. I should have just brought both my jerseys in and just held them up, and it is surreal. But yeah, I was part of the 2004 championship team, so we set the trend for all those other wins.
Just for the record, for those of you who weren't with us in the open, Tully is wearing red.
I am, yes. I am. I am definitely a Hoosier.
Indiana has held Seattle to 10 points in the second quarter. As the defense has tightened up, something Marion Stanley has been looking to get more of. Indiana's defense has struggled to string together stops consistently this year. A 4-0 burst from Breanna Stewart. And a couple of turnovers on the other end from Indiana.
You know, when you're playing against a great team like Seattle, you have to understand that you're not going to stop them from scoring completely. But what you want to do is not to kind of like just take them away from their averages, just make those shots difficult, contest every shot.
Inside to Stewart. She goes crashing into McCowan. Like she took a high elbow. It's actually McCowan who gets called with the foul, impeding Stewart. Indiana had a couple of fouls to give. McCowan has 10 points, and she has not missed a shot here tonight. 5 of 5 from the floor. Also has 4 rebounds.
14 points off the bench, and Tierra McCowan is a big reason for that. As he Jewel Lloyd rise from behind that three-point line.
I'll call that a deep 2.
Deep 2.
She certainly is lethal from out there. Lloyd with 7 points tonight. She shoots it at 40% from the three-point line. This Seattle team is best in the WNBA from the perimeter. See a lot of that for Kelsey Mitchell. She gets double teams just on a night-in, night-out basis. This is why a start like this to the game is so promising. We're seeing other players contribute. McCowan with 10. Tiffany Mitchell has 6. Jessica Breland with an all-around effort. Breland will fire a 3. She hit one earlier. Only hit a couple this year as McCowan gets the rebound. I think a foul is the call.
But you can see Breland not shy to take that three-point shot of Tierra McCowan, just putting herself in a good position there to go in for that offensive rebound. And she had a body in front, she had a body behind.
You can see Stewart there arguing that it was a jump ball, but the foul was on Russell on the body inside. McCowan here struggling from the line the last couple of games. Her percentage is now down to 60%. It's never going to be a major strength of hers, but we saw her really take some strides in the Wubble season last year as she splits the pair.
Well, she wasn't alone in the free throw woes the other night. Indiana Fever missing 11 of those free throws.
Lloyd off the screen, shovels to Stewart, but that shot won't fall. Anna Stewart 4 of 10 from the floor. She's got 10 points. Anytime she's even in her shot attempts and total points scored, you'll be happy with that from a Fever perspective.
Most definitely, as we see the Fever once again. Sometimes you have to read the defense. You got to fake the pass to make the pass, skip it. It's not always going to be there on the initial entry into McCowan, as we see Ezzy Magbagor attacking McCowan down the other end and drawing the foul.
Magbagor, one of 2 Australians on this roster. You a former Australian national team player as well. Talbot and Magbagor will represent Australia in the Olympics here coming up as we take a break for about a month. This happens every 4 years in the WNBA. The Olympics come, the league takes a little bit of a pause, and then we pick things back up in August. It's always kind of an interesting dynamic, a wrench thrown into the seasons, but you have so many players. When you have a league of 144 of the best players in the world, that's a lot of the Olympics.
It is, and you know, I've been on both sides. Obviously, I've been on the break side, and it's an unusual time. You get a certain period of time off. Let me just say that first practice back from having about 5 days off is not pretty.
Missing their starting point guard Julie Alamon this season as she plays in Eurobasket and the Olympics. In fact, she plays today. Here's Vivians pulling up and connecting. Victoria Vivians looking to get her game back going. She's dealt with significant injuries the last couple of years, but so far, on wood, she has stayed healthy. She pulls Indiana back within one, about 6 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Bird, an open three, and she hits it.
That's just tough. Tough to defend. Just good ball movement by Seattle.
Robinson had it knocked away by Stewart. Lavender will have to let it fly, and Lavender's shot won't fall. Indiana had a 3-point lead in quarter number 2, but Seattle closing the half strong, and the Storm lead the Fever here on Rebel Edition night by 4 at the break. Seattle Storm leads Indiana by 4 at the half, but the Fever putting in a strong couple of quarters. Indiana outscoring the 11-2 Storm in the second quarter. WNBA All-Star voting has begun. Vote for your favorite Fever players on the WNBA app or WNBA.com/vote. You can vote daily, and this Saturday your vote counts twice. Get your votes in before Sunday, June 27th, and tune into the game on July 14th at 7 o'clock. That game is on ESPN. Indiana with a strong defensive second quarter. They held Seattle to just 18 points in the second. That's Seattle's season low as we take a look here at the first half stats. Indiana out shooting Seattle from the field, although 1 of 7 from the three-point line. Totally, Seattle's hit just 3, but we'll be continuing to watch the perimeter here in the second half.
Well, the Indiana Fever have done a much better job of defending the three-point shot and contesting, but it's a good sign when you see the Indiana Fever are shooting a higher field goal percentage than their opponents at halftime.
As Danielle Robinson starts off the third quarter with a drive, her shot off target. Sue Bird, pull-up three. She knocks it down. And it's a 13-3 run for Seattle, dating back to the second quarter.
Come on, Sue Bird. Just when things are going well for the Fever, you cannot leave Sue Bird alone in transition offense.
Mitchell with a pull-up jumper. Tiffany Mitchell had those early 6 points. Mitchell now with 8. Indiana Indiana shooting it well from the floor, over 47% shooting. This is a team in Seattle who spent most of the year #1 in offense, and Samuelson drills a three.
Well, Tiffany Mitchell going under the screen on that occasion, whether that's in their playbook or not, but just gave Samuelson enough room. And she is a three-point shooter. She doesn't need a... It's the runner for Indiana. The Fever trying to hang around here with Seattle. We've seen a high-scoring third quarter. We apologize for those technical problems. They're working here from a new arena. Bankers Life Fieldhouse is, of course, the typical home of the Indiana Fever. The Coliseum will host us for the rest of this year as Bankers Life Fieldhouse undergoes some renovations. Tiffany Mitchell, pull-up three. She's been struggling from out there, Tiffany. It's missed her last 13 from beyond the three-point line. Indiana now 1 of 8 from there as Lloyd, a step-back three is short. Good defense by Kelsey Mitchell there, staying with Jewel Lloyd, just contesting that shot once again. Daniel Robinson probing the paint.
Breland cut off by Stewart. She'll fire it over her. Tough look there for Breland, who has 5 points but 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 blocks, and a steal.
That was a good foul then by Danielle Robinson. Total mismatch. Emerson had her pinned right underneath the basket, so a good foul there to give.
Samuelson will try from the post, roll it in with a foul. And Katie Lou Samuelson with a big start to the third quarter. Samuelson in her third year with her third different team. She's hoping to find a long-term landing spot in Seattle.
Well, Samuelson at 6'3" has got a couple of inches on the Indiana Fever guards that are defending her. So you can see the game plan right now for Seattle is to get her down into that low block area.
Samuelson was the 4th overall pick back in 2019 out of UConn. High-level talent as Tiffany Mitchell responds with the jump shots. Never really found her spot in Chicago. Was in Dallas last year. Playing with 3 All-Stars like Seattle has as Stewart. Beautiful touch pass to Russell.
Wow, that's just great to watch. Just that quick touch pass. Knew exactly what was going to happen defensively as we see Kelsey Mitchell on that left-hand drive. Just taking it right back at the Seattle Storm defense.
Already 13 points in the third for Seattle as Bird pulls up. Fever so strong defensively in quarter number 2. Robinson, deep 2, that won't fall. She was talking about, Danielle, Indiana settling for those types of shots a little bit more than they would like. Those deep 2 type of jump shots earlier in the shot clock. He said we need to be attacking more, get to the rim, and that'll help our 3-point shots. Really tough to win when you've hit just 1 3 here midway through the third, but the Fever are right in it. The top team in the WNBA. Stewart around to Lloyd. Canada called for the loose ball foul on Robinson.
Just good activity on the defensive side. Players are helping each other. The rotations are a lot better and are on point. Not over-helping at times, too, which I felt that the Fever did in the game on Tuesday night.
Mitchell on a handoff from Lavender, trying to turn the corner on Canada, and she draws the foul. Those are the type of situations that Indiana tries to get Tiffany Mitchell in more often. Those downhill where she can attack the basket.
Especially coming off screens, using the screens just to give a little separation to a defender, which, as we see, once again, unable to connect on that layup, that give and go. A little off balance.
Tiffany slow to get up. It's an odd man rush for Seattle, and Lloyd there to cash in on it. Seattle is the top team in the WNBA in fast break points. 14 a game. They've got 9 of them here so far tonight, so right on that pace. Robinson trying to get by Stewart, and Stewart is called for the foul.
Well, that was just a good attack then by Dero, but as we see, Seattle, one of the best transition teams in the league. Once they secure that defensive rebound, you need to get back and communicate because they are attacking at you.
They've got 9 fast break points. Indiana with just 2. Danielle Robinson's one of the league's top free throw shooters at 86%. And Stanley brings Tierra McCowan back in, and she was a force in the first half. McCowan 11 points, 6 rebounds, hit all 5 of her shots. Seen some nice resiliency here by Indiana. Seattle with a 15-point first 5 minutes. But the Fever have responded with 14 of their own, and an offensive foul drawn by Robinson.
Mercedes Russell being called for the foul there as we see the Indiana Fever just clawing their way back after being down 7 points, but now find themselves just 5 points behind the Seattle Storm.
For the most up-to-date news, scores, and content, get your behind-the-scenes fix with photos and videos directly from your phone. Download the app today. It's available on Google Play or the App Store. Bit of a defensive grind in the second quarter. We've seen the offenses shine here in quarter number 3, and Indiana hanging around here, trailing by 5 points. Robinson overshot Breland, who's able to save it. Shot clock down to 4. Breland steps into a 3. Oh, she buries it. She'd hit 2 all season. She's got 2 tonight.
Well, she had good momentum. She knew the shot clock was winding down and was able to use those couple of dribbles just to really set herself up for that 3-point shot. It never looked in doubt.
I'll tell you, still a long way to go in this one, but those first 5 minutes of the third quarter really felt like an important stretch as Seattle started pouring it on, and the Fever able to go stride for stride with them, not allow Seattle to get that lead to double digits. Now Indiana take the lead here with a 3-pointer. They've hit just 2 of them tonight, and they've both been Breland. Again, shot clock down to 5, and that pass was never going to make it there. McMagor took it away. And there's Mitchell with the good hands, comes up with a steal, and Bird will be forced to take the foul.
That's a veteran foul for you right there. Sue Bird knew that Kelsey Mitchell was just going to blow by her. As we see Kelsey Mitchell showing us that she can do it at both ends of the floor now, defensively.
However, that put Indiana into the penalty, so a rare mental error from the legend Sue Bird, and Kelsey Mitchell will shoot free throws. Mitchell now with 7 points here tonight.
Maybe after the way the Indiana Fever shot free throws the other night, she thought maybe she got more chance of her missing from the free throw line than making that basket. So I'll give her a little bit of benefit of the doubt there.
I'm not with you. Mitchell's one of the best free throw shooters.
I know. Either way, I don't think she was going to miss.
You can count on one hand the amount of mental errors Sue Bird has in a season as Lloyd's off target. Ecuador walled off there by McCowan. Here's Bird. Canada on a second effort on the drive. Jordan Canada, a chance at a three-point play.
Kelsey Mitchell just at the very end of that defensive play, you can see just couldn't help herself and tried to get a block shot out of that. But if you just stayed straight up and make Canada just have to make those tough shots.
Mitchell off the screen, pulls up. He is 3 of 6 from the floor. Seattle's done a nice job of limiting her touches, but the Storm give it right back to Indiana.
As we see the substitutions in now for the Indiana Fever, and this is a pivotal moment as well. When you bring in 3 subs, those subs have to not only just keep that intensity level where it is, but raise it because you've got fresh legs.
Jessica Breland, the only starter on the floor right now for Indiana. She has earned her 20 minutes and counting here so far tonight. Breland a couple points away from a double-double. Gondrzic post feed to McCowan. She fumbles with it. Shot clock down to 5. Able to get it out to Gondrzic. And Marianne Stanley took a timeout with the shot clock winding down to 4. Wanted to try to rescue this possession. The Fever head coach will have some time here to draw up a play, but just 4 seconds to get a good look as Seattle leads by 3. Late 3 here from Indianapolis. Here's Marianne Stanley and assistant Steve Smith. Jared Simpson and Vicky Hall also on that bench alongside Marianne Stanley. There's Jantel Lavender having a discussion with her front court. Noelle Quinn, who is younger than 2 of the players on her roster. Candice Dupree is days older than Quinn, and Sue Bird, of course.
Well, someone that is very proud of Noelle Quinn, and who was a former teammate of hers, a former teammate of mine, who is watching back in Australia right now, a Hall of Fame inductee, the great Lauren Jackson. I just want to give a shout out to Loz. She's watching this telecast, and I mean, what a phenomenal player she was. One of the greatest of all times. Her basketball resume reads like a novel, and it's just great to see her recognized by the Hall of Fame.
I tell you, when you've got Bird here playing, Lauren Jackson watching, Tanika Catchings is sitting in, you've got a who's who of the all-time greats here involved in tonight's game. Brianna Stewart will be amongst that list if she isn't already. Stewart in year 5 hits the 3. Stewart, the league's MVP from 2018, was runner-up a year ago. You can make a pretty good case that she is the top player in the world. Stewart has 13 points tonight. Breland will try another 3.
On that occasion, probably wise just to keep kicking the ball around the perimeter and let Tierra McCowan work from side to side in the paint there.
Lloyd gets the roll. Seattle now on an 8-0 burst. These are those moments that kind of become danger zone for Indiana.
You talked about before when Seattle did go on a run, Indiana were resilient and hit back at them. This is one of those times where Fever have to hit back, but it's not going to happen when you float a pass in. But thankfully, Breland has recovered. Let's see what the big girl can do.
Nice defense there by Magbagor. Allen off targets, and Indiana can't cash in on a 3-on-1.
There's an opportunity gone missing just then for the Indiana Fever as we see a collision between Allen and Stewart, and Allen is going to be called for the foul. good to see both players get up off the floor. Stewie's going to take a trip to the free throw line, but this is a pivotal moment right now in the game, as you mentioned. The Storm have got themselves on a bit of a roll.
It was 55-55. And Stewart here with a free throw to cap off a 10-0 run, which would give Seattle their first double-digit lead of the game. Stanley sticking with her bench here. Gondrzic gets inside, kick back out. Vivian's on the drive, shot clock down to 5. Lavender, good ball movement. Allen back to Lavender, and she draws the foul. Nice little three-man game there between Gondrzic, Lavender, and Allen.
Well, the Fever went side to side, and that was just a great recognition by Allen. I thought she was going to, with the shot clock winding down, take that shot herself, but she had great vision there to find Lavender on that dive.
Mitchells will come back in. Indiana now 10 of 11 from the free throw line after missing 11 from out there. This being Stranger Things theme night, I just want to keep saying 11.
I just want to call you Hopper. I don't know why.
Here is Stewart. Backing in on Lavender. Tough look.
Good defense.
Seattle gets the offensive rebound. They've out-rebounded the Fever by 7 tonight. Second chance opportunity. That won't fall, and now Mitchell looks to run. Mitchell pull up 3. Got hit from behind. We'll see, was she beyond the arc? And if she was, this would be 3 free throws for Kelsey Mitchell. Canada was coming up from the rear and trying to poke it away. Got some of the arm as well. They are going to look at this.
Oh, she's behind.
Clearly. That's kind of the break that Indiana needed after a second chance opportunity from Seattle. Now Mitchell can go to the line here and pull the Fever back within 5.
Yeah, I really love seeing when the Indiana Fever secure that defensive rebound, that push down the floor. It's one of their best offenses, is that just motoring it down, working off the dribble. That's where Tiffany Mitchell, Kelsey Mitchell, they're at their best.
Mitchell trying to get 3 the hard way. Three-point line, though, still has been a problem for Indiana. They've hit only 2, and they both come from Jessica Breland, who had hit only 2 this season. Mitchell, an 81% free throw shooter. She's knocked down all 3 she's hit from there tonight. At a season high 26 on Tuesday against Seattle. Moved past Ebony Hoffman for 8th place all time in Fever scoring. If she could keep up her 16-point per game pace, she would move all the way up to 4th by the end of the year. She stayed healthy, so she is starting to work herself into rarefied air, especially when you consider this is just year 4 for her. Across the 1,500-point threshold tonight as well. So Chantel Lavender earned her 2,500th point on Tuesday. Lloyd pulls up. McCowan with the rebound. Shot clock off. Indiana's cut this 10-point deficit in half. Looking to get even closer here with the final look of the third quarter. Mitchell putting on the moves. Good defense. And her shot got blocked. Mitchell could never get a free look. And that will take us through 3. The Storm lead by 5. But the Fever in striking distance. As we head to the 4th from the Coliseum. Kelsey Mitchell and the Indiana Fever looking for a strong 4th quarter to earn their second win of the year. They have been within striking distance of Seattle all night. The Storm took a brief 10-point lead. The Fever closed the quarter on a 5-0 run. McCowan knocks that one away. Mitchell comes up with a steal.
These first 2-3 minutes are going to be pivotal for the Indiana Fever.
Thank you all for joining us here on our first of 5 games on Bally Sports of this Fever season. Great to be with you on Bally here for the 2021 season. And we've had a good one so far. Seattle at 11-2, the league's best record. Indiana looking to snap an 8-game losing streak. On Mitchell, an unforced turnover.
And that's what they need to be careful of. Just got to look after the basketball. Kelsey Mitchell will be frustrated with herself for that error. But now you've got to dig deep and get the ball back.
Magmagor, good defense from McCowan. So that never hit the rim. Shot clock down to 6. Talbot leans in, throws up a wild shot, and banks it in.
Wow. I mean, that was just a tough shot to make. It was good defense played.
Mitchell, around it goes. Lindsay Allen, corner 3. Epiphany Prince pulls down the rebound. Seattle has not trailed here in the second half. The Fever took a 5-point lead in quarter number 2 as Dupree working on Lavender. Fades, leaves that one short. Dupree still held scoreless tonight. She is 1 point away from 4th all-time in the league scoring books, but hasn't got it. Early here in the 4th. McCowan sees the double, turns the shoulder, and gets it to go. Tierra McCowan has not missed tonight. 6 of 6 from the floor for Big T.
Great high-low action there, post to post. Lavender just patient, waiting for Tierra McCowan to get into that position.
Bird give and go with Talbot. And some contact there underneath. Kelsey Mitchell called for the foul. It's the 3rd on Mitchell.
Talbot has been very active for the Seattle Storm. A great pickup. She can play in the post. She sometimes has that mismatch with some of the smaller guards. But she can also extend to the perimeter as well. So she's been a great find for them. And she's an Aussie.
Brent shot clock down to 2. Working on Mitchell. Has to fire. That rolls out. The defense there by Indiana. Mitchell lethal in the transition. The hesitation. Mitchell had it knocked away from behind. Prince out to Bird, and that's an easy 2.
Well, Sue Bird is not going to miss those. And the Indiana Fever need to really take care of the basketball now. Missed opportunities.
These transition buckets for Seattle really have felt like backbreakers to Fever momentum as Lavender finds some space underneath. And a great find there by Lindsay Allen.
I'll tell you what, Lindsay Allen has got great vision, and her chemistry now with the post players, you can see that developing.
Bird shot fakes the 3, steps in. That's Talbot able to come up with the loose ball, sets up an open Bird. Pulling it out there. A one-on-one look on Prince.
I was a little surprised that she didn't take that one-on-one, but Kelsey Mitchell, what a great left-hand pass.
And just like that, the Fever are back within 3. Timeout, Noel Quinn and Seattle. Kelsey Mitchell known for his scoring, but setting up her teammate Lavender here for the bucket to pull Indiana within a possession. Blue Shield and the Indiana Fever are giving it our all to build healthier communities for all. Visit anthem.com/fever to learn more. 6:30 remaining here from Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Got a good one for you in our Valley Sports opener of the season alongside Tully Bevilacqua. I'm Pat Boylan-Lloyd. Muscles inside and the finish.
She muscled inside all right, but a good finish. But once again, I got to say, that was good defense. I mean, just better offense. Jewel Lloyd is a star player, and she makes some tough baskets.
Indiana out shooting Seattle here midway through the fourth, despite the 5-point deficit. McCowan goes up there to get it, goes right back to work on Russell. That's her first missed shot of the night. McCowan had hit her first 6. Stewart steps into a 3. 3-ball not falling for Stewart here tonight. Now just 1 of 4 from the perimeter. Allen finds some space. Contested well by Bird there at the very end of that shot.
Seattle Storm only shooting 37%, 6 of 16 from behind the arc. We see another miss.
Indiana still has just the 2 3-pointers on their end. You take that 6 of 17 any day.
Yes.
Mitchell still has not hit one. Kelsey would come in red hot from the 3-point line. Here is Kelsey as McCowan turns and misses.
You can see that double team coming over, which means somebody is open. That's probably a time where McCowan has got to use that court vision.
Stewart shot fakes the 3, gets by Lavender. McCowan there to contest. A foul and a bucket. Brianna Stewart with a chance at a 3-point play. Seattle goes back up 7.
Brianna Stewart just with the quick first step to blow by her defender, and just a great finish with that outstretched left hand, just kisses it off the glass. Just a phenomenal player. You know, and when you need big baskets at these moments in a game where it's tight, who do you look to? But you look to your big 3, Jewel Lloyd, Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart.
A rare miss there by Stewart from the foul line. Kind of stuck here in the 3 to 7 range, but Mitchell turns it over. Great outlet pass. Bird, the finish.
It's a great finish. You could see her take a peek and see where the defense is, and she just scooped that one up.
Both teams have turned it over 14 times, but Seattle has outscored Indiana 18-7 off the turnover. As Mitchell, a late whistle. Was she on the line or not? We saw her shoot 3 free throws earlier. We should note that while Mitchell has not hit one, she did knock down 3 foul shots earlier when fouled on a 3, which is essentially the same thing.
Couldn't see if that big toe was on the line or not from that replay.
Half of Mitchell's points have come from the foul line now tonight. Mitchell with 12. McCowan leading Indiana in scoring with 13. Tiffany Mitchell has 12. And the balance that you like to see for Marianne Stanley. 9 different players have scored. The bench has been much improved off of their season low on Tuesday.
Well, teams are defending Kelsey Mitchell Tarter from the 3-point line, knowing that she is doing the bulk of the scoring from there.
Stewart gets the step again on Lavender. Bank shot short. Lavender and Stewart battling for it. The foul is called on Lavender.
Stewie might have got away with a travel on that play. I'm not sure if we're going to see it on the replay or not. But
Stewart, who is 4 of 5 from the free throw line tonight. 17 points, 13 rebounds. I mean, this just speaks to the greatness of Brianna Stewart. It's kind of felt like an off night for her.
Yeah.
18 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. She didn't have off nights.
No, she doesn't. And it looks like, you know, there's a good chance of hitting that 20-point margin again. She's already had 7 games already of 20 points or higher. You know who the leading player is of 20-point-plus games this season in the league?
Tina Charles.
Close. She is second. Former Fever player.
Banaj
Laney, yes.
What a story she has been. Seattle leading by 10 here. Final 4 minutes. Stewart, step back, count it.
Well, she was missing those shots earlier on with good defense contested. But Stewie now getting her eye in.
And Stanley will take a timeout as Seattle has their largest lead of the night. In celebration of LGBTQ Pride Plus, presented by Deloitte, the WNBA will collaborate with Glisten and Fanatics on an exclusive line of Pride apparel, including Fanatics branded WNBA t-shirts. All WNBA proceeds will benefit Glisten, and fans can purchase the shirts at WNBA store.nba.com. 3 minutes left to play here. Indiana looking at their largest deficit as the Storm are in the midst of a 10-1 run. And number 10, Sue Bird there called for the foul. 69-66 midway through the third, or midway through the fourth, I should say. Marion Stanley and Steve Smith's group have struggled to score here the last couple of minutes. The Storm team is third in the league in defense, but number 1 in the month of June. They're really playing well on that end lately.
Well, they've struggled to score, but they've also coughed up the basketball a few times as well. Unforced errors creeping in.
Nice split of the double team by McCowan. Robinson, the hesitation. She just couldn't finish. Indiana has not scored now in 4 minutes of game action. Bird into the corner. Lloyd will have to get rid of it. McCowan couldn't bring it down. Ping pongs its way out to Mitchell. And likely going to need a big couple minutes from Mitchell to get back into this one. She'll fire a 2. Mitchell 3 of 8 from the floor tonight. 12 points. Not a bad night from Mitchell. When you're trying to upset a super team like this, as Bird can't get the roll, you usually need your star having a big night. And that's not to discredit Kelsey, who's had a tough start to the season, but really coming around. 20 points per game in her last 4 coming into this one. But when you're trying to win a game like this, almost everything has to go right. And a whole lot has gone right for Indiana. Within 3 points midway through the 4th quarter. This has certainly been one of the best efforts we've seen all season. I think this effort beats a lot of teams on this night. Well, this is not just your average team.
Yeah, this is, as we see, Breland with the long 2 there, continuing on her fine form.
Breland now has a double-double, her 25th of her career, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks, 3 assists, 2 steals. Another night of filling up the stat sheet for Breland. Lloyd, hands off, Russell.
The Fever going to have to score quickly now. They are 10 points down with just 1:15 to go.
Mitchell using a lot of clock here. Gets the switch to Bird. Breland had it poked away. Backdoor pass. Robinson couldn't hang on. Well, there's Seattle's defense in a nutshell. Indiana wanting to go quick. They could just never find a look.
Seattle has definitely improved their defense as well as the season's progressed. Just going to run this clock down now.
Stewart will whip it across to Samuelson. That is an air ball. Tough spot for Samuelson to be in there. She's played otherwise a pretty nice game. That was the first shot that Samuelson has missed all night. 10 points for Katie Lou in year number 3. Marianne Stanley. Well, she's got to feel like Indiana's taking some steps in the right direction here.
This is more of a complete game that we've seen them play. So there's definitely positives out of that, and their activity level defensively has probably been the best, one of their best games as well. They did put themselves in a position, I mean, obviously with 35.6, 10 points down, it's going to be tough to pull this one out. But they definitely put themselves in a position to be right here at the very end, and then just a couple of loose turnovers in this last quarter really hurt them at pivotal moments when Seattle as well was coming down and knocking down some shots.
To your point, Seattle right now has been held 10 points under their season average, below their averages in field goal percentage, 3-point percentage. So certainly some positives on the defensive end where Marianne Stanley really is looking to see some growth. Mitchell on the drive, gets inside out to Kelsey. She'll fire a 3. And Samuelson comes down with the rebound. There is about 4 seconds between the clocks. Seattle won't be able to quite wind this one down. Indiana led by as many as 5 in the second quarter. But a couple of runs on the defending champs. Lloyd step back 3. But Seattle holds serve. They are now 7-0 away from home, dating back. The last year they have won 11 straight on the road. That's one shy of the WNBA record. And Seattle is able to hold on for a 10-point win here tonight. Stewart with 21 points and 15 rebounds, the leading scorer tonight. And here's tonight's heart-pounding moment. It's courtesy of Ascension St. Vincent. Just 3 minutes on the floor for Lauren Cox. Certainly one of the game's highlights, able to get that shot away just before the shot clock expired. Our heart-pounding moment. We will be back to wrap things up here on Valley Sports. Indiana Fever basketball is brought to you by Ascension St. Vincent. Listening to you, caring for you. And by Ortho Indy, official orthopedic provider of the Indiana Fever. Seattle closes the fourth quarter on a 10-3 run and earned their league best 12th win of the season tonight from Indianapolis. The final score, 79-69. The Fever will return to action on Saturday night at 7 when they visit the Washington Mystics. We'll have the coverage for you streaming live on Facebook and on feverbasketball.com. For Director Jamie Burns, producer Matt Scott, for Tully Bevilacqua and our entire crew, I'm Pat Boylan. Thanks for watching. We will talk to you on Saturday.